Hello, here's Kramer's Corner with a special update on the Magnificent 7. I will start out with Alphabet. That is still in a downtrend, so you can see lower lows and lower highs, trading just above 130 support area level here. And on the weekly chart, we can see how it is. It has broken below the steep rising trend line. It is still in an uptrend to medium term, but it is under pressure, I will say, and we have some divergence on the RSI, meaning the RSI indicators or values are declining, whereas the market has been trading higher. But on the daily chart, we can see that we have RSI in a negative sentiment, and there's no divergence here, indicating we could see lower levels on the Alphabet share. Amazon, and let's zoom out a little bit. Amazon is quite interesting. I actually formed what we call a gravestone doji here early last week on the 4th of March, where you can see markets open and closed more or less in the same price. Opened at 177.53 and closed at 177.58. 3 cents apart, and that is a gravestone doji after spiking higher. So it's a top and reversal indicator, and it's been trading in this wedge-like pattern, rising wedge-like pattern, testing the low rising trend line here Friday. If it does break below the key support at 172.27, it should be observed, because a close below that we could see a sell-off down to 165.75, which is the upper part of the this gap area here that could come under pressure. A close below 161.29, then it would close the gap area, and that could spell some more trouble for Amazon in a further sell-off. But for now, it is still holding on. But what we can see here, also the RSI, we see it is declining, meaning we have divergence. It is indicating trend exhaustion. We can also see the volume has been declining, further adding to the top and reversal scenario. It is still medium term in an uptrend, but if it does take out these lows here, and let's move this one because it is actually much interesting to see what's going on here. If it takes out these lows here, around 65.75, that can easily change also to a bearish trend. On the Apple share, and I think what is interesting is we have now confirmed a correction on the medium term after taking out these lows here. Key support on 165.67 right there. That is really key. If it takes out that level and closes below, and close below could send Apple lower. You see massive sell-off we saw here starting March with a heavy sell-off, taking out the support 180. There is formed a bottom and reversal like pattern here. It's a doji morning like pattern, but it lost momentum through towards the end of the session Friday. And if it takes out the low there from Thursday, was the lowest level, then this 166-ish level could come under pressure. We are already in a negative sentiment. There's no divergence on the RSI, indicating we could see lower levels. What is also interesting, volume actually rise during this sell-off. So it is indicating that Apple could drop lower in coming weeks. Meta. Well, Meta also trend exhaustion. You will see we moved up here in February, March, but we saw lower values on RSI and also slightly declining volume, meaning we are facing a trend exhaustion, a likely trend exhaustion. It's not confirmed yet. I don't have a top and reversal pattern as such, but the Friday trading was a little bit weak after trying to push it higher. If we see a close below this short-term rising trend line here, we could see a sell-off down to around 453, which is the upper part of this a big gap area here. It could be tested, maybe even dropping below, but as long as it doesn't close the gap area, meaning if it doesn't close below 403.59, the medium-term uptrend is still intact. However, what we can see here on the weekly chart, it is not unlikely we will see a top and reversal. We could see if Meta is experiencing a negative week this week, and we are ending on a negative note, especially a fairly negative one, then it will have formed a top and reversal pattern, doji evening top and reversal pattern. with the potential lower levels. However, there's no divergence on the weekly RSI, so maybe it's a short-term just a correction we could see. Microsoft trading in this, I would say, steep but quite wide rising channel. But what did we see? Let's see, closed there at 420.50, open at 56. So actually we had a top and reversal pattern here on the weekly a couple of weeks ago. It hasn't been followed through, and there's no divergence on the RSI, indicating maybe it's not that strong. But if we do get a close below 397.20, well, a correction down to around 384-ish level could be seen, but it looks fairly strong at the moment. However, we do have RSI divergence. You can see the values are declining right here as the market actually moved higher to that level. So we have some divergence there that needs to be traded out. So maybe a bit of a correction down to 384, maybe a tad lower. But needs to take out 397 and a change. Nvidia, really talk of the time, of course. Massive move on Friday, quite a lot of volatility, more than 11% from top to bottom. And it formed what we call a bearish engulfing, really taking out the two prior days of trading here, and that is a massive signal. What we can also see, the massive volume going through. So despite volume rising during the last leg up here, it was still a little bit lower than the other days. But what is also interesting, we had the RSI also showing some divergence, very close to cancel it, but it didn't. So we have a massive top and reversal pattern, and it's a fairly reliable one. We could see a sell-off short-term down to this gap area, not gap area, this support at around 777, 742. It's fairly strong, but if it takes out that, well, then we're looking at 661 area as the next key strong support area. Medium term, we had. It's not a shooting star, but it's very close to it. Should have been a little bit smaller candle, but it does look like it. I mean, the body is also the shadow of the wick here is at least 2 times bigger than the actual body. So we could see also a larger correction there, a massive or very high RSI value just below 90, and that is a very extreme. Let's see if we actually did have some. We don't have. No, there's no divergence. Meaning we could see a correction, and then we could see Nvidia coming back over the summer. Finally, Tesla looks fairly heavy, as you can see here. We have lower lows, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and we had a lower low again last week. The support area, this is the weekly chart. It's broken this triangle-like pattern here, and there's a strong support around 160, 152 in this area. It is very likely to be tested. Of course, there's no guarantees, but we are in a negative sentiment also on the RSI, indicating that scenario. Short-term, a little bit of bounce, but still we are in a bearish trend, and despite a little bit of RSI divergence, it doesn't seem to be to find that many buyers here lately. So really selling pressure on Tesla. It really needs to take out these peaks here up here around 205, to reverse that scenario. All right, that's all for today. That is just a very quick walkthrough of what the technical picture is on the Magnificent Seven. Some of them are actually quite weak, and some of them are still a little bit strong, and some of them are in a downtrend. All right, that's all for today. Have a nice day, and happy trading.